Communication isn't just about what we say. For many, it's a fortress built brick by brick to survive. The words we choose, the ones we avoid, the silences we keep, they are all echoes of our past. They tell a story. Today, we're decoding a story that many people live, but few understand. We are looking at 7 weird communication habits of people who have experienced emotional abuse. These aren't character flaws, they are scars. And understanding them is the first step toward healing. Let's begin. Number 1, the constant overexplainer. You ask them a simple question, why were you late? The simple answer would be, the traffic was bad. But that's not what you get. Instead, you get a detailed, minute-by-minute account of their morning. They tell you which road they took, why they chose that road, the exact point where the traffic started, what they thought about turning around, and why they decided not to. They are building a case. They are presenting evidence to a judge that isn't even there. To an outsider, it seems unnecessary, maybe even a bit boring. But to the person who has lived through emotional abuse, it is absolutely essential. They learned the hard way that simple answers are never enough. Every statement they ever made was put on trial. Every decision was questioned. Bad traffic would have been met with, you should have left earlier. You should have checked the app. You're just making excuses. So they learn to build an airtight alibi for every single action. They anticipate the cross-examination and come prepared with all the facts. They aren't just telling you about their morning. They are defending their reality. Their words are not for communication. They are for their defense. This habit is a shield, forged in a fire of constant doubt and accusation. Number 2, the automatic apology. Someone bumps into them in a crowd, and they are the first to say, oh, I'm so sorry. They apologize for taking up space, for having an opinion, for needing something, even for feeling a certain way. They apologize for things that are not their fault, and sometimes for things that don't even require an apology. This isn't just about being polite. It's a deeply ingrained reflex. When you live in an environment where anything you do or say can be used to start a conflict, I'm sorry becomes a tool for de-escalation. It's a white flag you wave before the battle even begins. In their past, they were often made to feel like they were the problem. Their feelings were an inconvenience. Their needs were a burden. The path of least resistance was to accept the blame for everything, because fighting back only made things worse. So, the apology becomes a habit. It's a preemptive strike against potential anger or disapproval. It's a way of saying, please don't be mad at me. I'll take the fall. Just let there be peace. It's a heartbreaking echo of a time when their safety depended on being small and blameless. Number 3, the unconscious mind reader. They are hyper-aware of the emotional temperature of a room. They notice the slightest shift in your tone of voice, the tiny furrow in your brow, the way you pause for half a second longer than usual, and they will almost always assume the worst. A neutral tone is interpreted as annoyance. A moment of quiet is seen as simmering anger. This isn't paranoia. It's a highly developed skill that was necessary for survival. People who have experienced emotional abuse had to become experts in reading the subtle, non-verbal cues of their abuser. Their well-being depended on being able to predict a mood swing before it happened. A clenched jaw, a certain look in the eye, these were the storm warnings. Missing them could have serious consequences. Now, out in the world, that radar is still switched on, scanning everyone for threats. But the world is not the same as their past. Most people aren't hiding rage behind a calm face. So this survival skill starts to misfire. It creates anxiety where there is no danger. They are not just listening to your words. They are searching for the hidden meaning. The threat that they've been conditioned to expect is always there. Number 4, speaking in maybes and sort ofs. You ask for their opinion. What do you want for dinner? They say, I don't know, maybe Italian? Or we could do Thai, I guess. Whatever you want is fine. It's hard to get a direct, solid preference from them. Their language is filled with words that soften their stance. Probably, I think, sort of, kind of. This comes from a history where having a firm opinion was dangerous. If they said, I want Italian, it could be mocked. Of course you want Italian. It's always about what you want. If they stated a belief, it was torn apart. You don't actually believe that, do you? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So, they learned to make themselves a smaller target. You can't attack an opinion that was never firmly stated. Vague language is a form of camouflage. It allows them to express a thought without fully committing to it, leaving an easy escape route if it's met with criticism. It's a way of participating in a conversation without putting their true self on the line, because they were taught that their true self was fundamentally wrong. Number 5, deflecting compliments. You tell them, "You did an amazing job on that project." Instead of a simple, "Thank you," they might say, "Oh, it was nothing really. Anyone could have done it." Or, "Thanks, but I messed up the last part." They physically or verbally push away the praise. It's like they're allergic to it. This reaction can be confusing, but it makes perfect sense when you look at their past. In an emotionally abusive relationship, compliments are often not genuine. They're traps. A compliment might be a setup for a future criticism, a tool of manipulation known as intermittent reinforcement. "You're so smart, so why did you do something so idiotic?" This makes praise feel unsafe and untrustworthy. Furthermore, their self-worth has often been systematically dismantled. They have been told, directly or indirectly, that they are not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy. When you genuinely believe that about yourself, a compliment feels like a lie. It creates a feeling of intense discomfort because it doesn't match the internal story they've been forced to accept. Accepting the compliment feels like a betrayal of the truth they were taught about themselves. It's easier and safer to reject it. Number 6, the all or nothing approach to sharing. This habit has two extreme sides. On one side, you have the person who shares intensely personal and traumatic details with someone they just met. On the other side, you have the person who has known you for years, yet you know almost nothing truly deep about them. There is no middle ground. This is a direct result of having their boundaries repeatedly violated. They were not taught what is healthy to share and what is best kept private. Their private thoughts may have been used against them, and their personal space was never respected. As a result, they don't have a reliable internal compass for intimacy and vulnerability. The person who overshares is often desperately seeking the validation and connection they never received. It's a cry for help, a way of saying, "This is what happened to me. Please see my pain." The person who undershares has built a fortress. They've learned that vulnerability is a weapon that can be used against them. Letting anyone in is too risky. They keep their inner world locked away because it's the only place that has ever felt truly safe from intrusion. Both are attempts to manage a world that has taught them that connection is unpredictable and dangerous. Number 7, silence as a shutdown, not a weapon. We often think of the silent treatment as a form of punishment, a way to control someone, and it can be. But for many who have endured emotional abuse, silence is not an attack. It's a complete system shutdown. In the middle of a disagreement or a moment of high stress, they might suddenly go completely quiet. They don't respond. They seem distant, vacant. They have retreated deep inside themselves. This is a protective mechanism. They learned that engaging in conflict was pointless and perilous. Arguing back led to more yelling. Crying led to being mocked. Explaining their side led to their words being twisted. In the face of an overwhelming emotional attack, the only survival strategy that worked was to disappear, to become a ghost in the room. When they go silent, they are not trying to punish you. They are trying to protect themselves. Their brain has perceived a threat, a raised voice, a critical tone, and has hit the emergency brake. It's a retreat to the only safe place they knew. This silence is not empty. It is full of the unspoken words and unfelt feelings from a past where their voice had no power. Recognizing these habits in ourselves or in people we care about is profoundly important. These aren't just quirks. They are survival strategies that have outlived their purpose. They are the language of a wound that needs healing. The first step isn't to force a change, but to offer understanding, to create a space where it's safe to give a simple answer, to accept a compliment, to have an opinion, and to know that your voice matters. Healing is the slow and steady process of unlearning the language of fear and remembering how to speak the language of your own truth. If this video resonated with you, a like would mean a lot to us and helps this message reach others who might need to hear it. Please consider subscribing for more content that explores the complexities of the human mind and heart. And now, for the comments. We can learn so much from each other. What's one communication habit you've noticed, in yourself or others, that made more sense once you understood its roots? Share your thoughts below. Your story might be the one someone else needs to read today. Thank you for watching.